What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Kickash Podcast. Tonight, we are taking a look and discussing Monday afternoon Raw that was from Brussels, Belgium at Forest National Arena. I guess. I guess it's an arena, right? Not a stadium. I don't know. I don't know if they're called like if there's like a different word for it over there besides arena. But Forest National. I'm sure there was mentioned and I just missed it. But the attendance was reported around 8,000, a little over 8,000, which you could have fooled me. That shit felt like 15,000. Shout out to them. And the almost like oval shot that WWE got damn near at the beginning of the show, if not the very beginning of the show, while we had that few second delay until John Cena's music hit. Spoiler, we'll get into it, obviously. But man, I just loved that opening shot, that broad view. It was just stellar, man. And to me, that shit, I was surprised when I saw that there was only 8,000 in there because man, that shit looked and felt like it was at least 12, 15. So yeah, props to that fan base, those crowd or that crowd over there. Like y'all kicked ass, man. Like that shit was amazing. I from the jump, and to be fair and to kind of call myself out, I was concerned that the foreign fans would just be so stoked to see like the big stars, right, like Cena, because we're spoiled over here, and especially North America, but in the United States in particular, with how many shows we get a year, right? Where it's obviously based in the US. So they have broadened especially the PLE circuits within the past 2 years or so greatly, but we still are very spoiled over here in regards to like when the TV shows even air too. So it was very cool, and it has been very cool to see them broaden the horizons, right? And to have back to back shows consisting of Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown airing overseas, man, and actually airing live. I loved the 3 p.m. start time. I was like, it was like 12 or 1 this afternoon, and I was like, oh shit, that's right, Raw is airing at 3 p.m. today, yo. And I just got so fucking pumped. I got extra motivated to get my shit done at work and properly, of course, and efficiently and accurately. But man, like it was just a cool feeling, man, and just a change and a switch up in the routine. I think it's so fun, and I love the flexibility that Netflix gives to WWE for that reason. You know what I mean? Like I no longer are the days where you have to record over there and then delay the airing of it, right? And then risk spoilers and stuff. Now they still will, right? They'll, especially for instance when they go to like Saudi Arabia, they will air or tape on Raw, for instance, like they've done in the past. They'll tape 2 shows back to back, which sucks. I feel for them, of Raw, and then air that the following week, right? Just to help with traveling because it's fucking brutal, man. I can't even imagine. Shout out to all the wrestlers, man, all the production, everyone, everyone, all the assistants, everyone down to like the quote unquote little people. You know what I mean? Like the little people do the most work. So shout out to all of them. I can't even imagine what their day to day life is like and the grind is like. So props to them. But I just love switching it up, and I love not just sticking to our norm here. And I love that they went with it. They're like, no, we have the capability, right? We have the partner, we have the streaming platform now to air it live. So fuck it, we're gonna air it at 3 p.m. And I loved it. I loved that shit. And I loved that they didn't try to make it extra, right? Like obviously they didn't need to do anything else with the advertisement of having John Cena on there for the first time since the big turn, right? Like sells itself. But I love that they didn't try to convolute things and really just be like, oh yeah, well let's yeah, we have John Cena making his first appearance and speaking for the first time since this drastic turn. I love that they didn't go out there and be like, yeah, we have this and let's add this, and this. Let's bring back this person or let's tease this or let's, like do this title match or anything like that, where we know it wouldn't have gotten an exact finish or played out the way it should have. So I'm happy they just stuck with, I don't want to call it a regular show, but they stuck with the show that they would have aired anywhere, you know what I mean? And they didn't try to fluff it up as any more that they needed to. So yeah, I really dug that. I love the aesthetics of the show. Like I said, the fans are fucking incredible. So any of you guys watch this, shout out to you. Obviously comment if you if you feel so inclined to, especially if you're into the show, that'd be really cool to hear from you. But dude, like it was just the entire show. Not granted, like the whole show wasn't as hot as the beginning and pretty much like the first hour, I would say. But I mean, it's kind of not even a fair comparison. And I still think it was a very good show. And maybe I was a bit biased because the beginning of the show, like I said, was so hot. But yeah, so we'll get right into it. I do want to. I may split it up and do that separately. There was a a funny sighting. But since we've already kind of gotten to the nitty gritty of Raw, I'll save that little excerpt that I saw. It was out in the wild that appeared tonight as well on not Monday Night Raw, but at a Knicks game. So I'll save that and make a separate video. Nothing crazy, but it was just wow. I was just not expecting it. But and shout out to Wade Keller at PWTorch for the transcription here. I love the breakdown. I love the concisement. I don't know if that's a word. But I love how concise everything is. I know that's a word. And how clean and crisp it is. The ads are there, right? But it's still not beating me over the head. And not like dodging ads trying to read a sentence. So shout out to him and PWTorch. And everyone at PWTorch for that matter. I'm a big fan. So and a VIP member. So there's that too. But of course, Reckle, WrestleTix reported that Reckle, what the fuck is that? Reported that okay, so the official count was 8,078 tickets were distributed heading into the show. The arena was set up for 8,080. Oh, bro, two more tickets, man. Oh, that would have fucking killed me. Oh, that would have. I probably would have bought those tickets. I would just so we have a solid. That two tickets would have just grinded my gears. Ugh. Um, but the arena has a capacity of 8,400 spectators. Yeah, okay, 8,400 spectators when configured for boxing MMA. All right. And yeah, so obviously Wade has a post show as well that he does for Raw, Dynamite, and for SmackDown, and then of course PLEs. But the weekday shows are their post show is on YouTube, so check that out. But you have to be a VIP member to hear what he has to say about the PLEs for the PLE roundtable, which is one of the reasons I'm a VIP member myself. So shout out to him, and no affiliation. I just like shouting people out and showing love. But Michael Cole introduced the show as they showed aerial views of Brussels. Then they showed wrestlers arriving to the arena, including Finn Balor, Braun Baker, Bianca Belair, and Io Sky and Dakota Kai. They went to Cole and Corey Graves. Shout out to Corey Graves, man. It was so dope seeing him back. Cole said Pat McAfee had the week off, and Cole said they'll be hearing from Cena. And said, given Cena's history, they owe him the benefit of the doubt to explain himself. Video package aired on John Cena turning on Cody Rhodes, which was fantastic for me because I was 3 minutes late. So by the time I turned it on, it was like 3:03, and the package was almost finished, so it was perfect. And then, like I said, this is where the pause came in after the video package aired, and we got another aerial shot. It was just fucking fantastic, man, just so good. And Cena's music hit, and again, I don't know if I completed my thought earlier, but I don't think I ever did. But my point of saying, or what I was supposed to be getting at with another point with them being overseas was I was concerned that they were just gonna be so excited to see John Cena and Seth Rollins like just stars, period. And I don't mean that in any disparaging way, but that's why I was saying, like I was mentioning earlier, we just have such an influx of seeing them so frequently over here. It'd be different for us. It'd be the same thing, just vice versa, right? If WWE aired weekly over in Brussels, for instance, and they only came over to the US like once every, what was it, six, I don't even know how long it's been. We would, most likely go crazy too. So that's kind of what I'm getting at with that. But as I was saying, it sounded kind of icky, just like, I don't know, let me just clarify that. But I was worried that they were just gonna just cheer John Cena just blindly, and that goes for everywhere they go on this tour. But nah, man, the exact opposite. They tore into seeing it, and better than we could, man. Better than anything that could have happened over here in the States on his first sighting since the turn. And so just fucking shout out again to Brussels, man. Y'all fucking killed it. And y'all just made that segment so much better too. And just seeing John Cena's visual cues, right? How at one point he was leaning on the rope with his massive forearm on the top rope. Dude, just fucking rip. It's insane. Um, and just soaking it all in, and just just like a smug look on his face, and just like I said, soaking it in. It was just I was just so fucking thrilled, man. I was just so happy to be witnessing this and to be alive when this is happening, right? And to be able to watch just the beauty that was that opening segment. Now, yes, had I maybe projected and wanted a few things to be different, like the music, the gear and stuff like that, yeah, of course. But I like that he addressed it, and we'll get to that here as we go through what he said. But man, I still loved it. I still loved it. I started listening to the PWTorch show a little bit afterwards. Then I had to take care of some things around the house, since it was about 5 o'clock, 5ish, 5:30ish at that point. Had to dogs out and all that, keep on the routine. But yeah, so I don't know the general consensus of the fact that he still visually and audibly, at least that opening, besides the booze, still sounds like John Cena, right? But again, I like that he at least addressed it. And I wouldn't even be surprised if we get some type of variation before or at WrestleMania. And I, for some reason, like, maybe it's just wishful thinking, I can just picture, if at no other time, just his music hitting at WrestleMania, and then it just morphing into this dark, demented version, right? And Cena coming out looking completely different, and maybe he comes out wearing like the brightest, like just tackiest shirt with a big ass door on the back. Fucking hate that shirt, and he just rips it off, and it's just like whatever his new bad shirt is gonna be. I just, man, there's just so much they could do, and I get maybe they don't have enough time. But seeing how he fucking reacted, sorry, I'm dropping so many F bombs, but just seeing how he reacted today, if I say tonight, I apologize. Was just the dude went all in, and like Sai had mentioned on Twitter, him and I were chatting a little bit. John Cena went all in, dude, and it was beautiful, because I was one of the things I was, a little concerned on as well was I didn't want it to be some half-ass thing, like I didn't want him to be like, oh, Cody, like, I'm sorry, but I did what I had to do, like, like, or just kind of like teeter the fence type thing. Nah, this dude fucking laid into us. So, um, I'm gonna probably keep pausing and as I read through this, just because it was just so well done, in my opinion. I just, again, like, I don't even think like I'm even the little things aesthetically. I don't think it was a negative thing that he didn't change it. And I think it's almost good too, because one of the things we always say about bad guys is they should, first of all, and most importantly, believe what they're saying, because if they don't believe, then we definitely won't believe. Like, so that goes with the baby face as well. And I hate saying those words. That goes with like a good guy as well too, right? But I don't know if it's more importantly for a bad guy, but the bad guy has to believe in what he's saying, regardless of what it is. If it's a crock of shit or the honest truth, and we just don't want to hear it, just like CM Punk, you know what I mean? Like, the dude can be right, but he just makes you feel like, Jesus, man, like, shut the fuck up. We get it. I know you're right, okay, but like, damn, So you start getting frustrated. Like, I never got frustrated, but that was the consensus, back in the AEW, kerfluffle days. But it could be like one of those situations, right? So I just I was wondering if we were gonna get like, oh, like, Cody, like, I respect you, but I gotta do this, like, I didn't mean it, or just some bullshit, you know what I mean? But nah, homeboy went in, and I was so here for it. At one point too, he did, excuse me, right at the beginning, he was acting like he was going, well, not acting, but he was going to speak, but the fans were just berating him so much that he put the mic down and he acted like he was gonna leave, and he came back, and he got me, bro. I was like, you better be fucking kidding me. If this guy comes out here, just soaks it all in, almost like, remember Roman Reigns? What year is that? Was that 2015? 2016, when the Raw after Mania, after he beat Undertaker, and he was like, it's my yard now. He stood up there for, what was it, like 7 minutes, while the fans were just chanting everything very similar to this, like "fuck you, Roman," just all types of crazy shit. And he said one sentence and then left, very few words, and then left. If that's what was gonna be here in this segment with Cena, and he didn't even say anything or said like a very like one or two sentences, I would have been like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. But no, he didn't. He said a lot more than one or two sentences. So they got me. Touche on that one. But getting back to the actual segment itself, um, John Cena came out to his usual entrance song wearing jorts. It's just such a funny word. Jorts and a t-shirt about not seeing him after 2025. The fans exploded into boos and saying John Cena sucks. Then, as Cena stood in the ring, they engaged in a "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks" chants. They then chanted "You sold out," and it was obviously like the back and forth, "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks." But man, I would say it was probably like 80-20, maybe 70-30, more for Cena sucks. Um, it felt like just like the good old times, right? Like when you just had that passionate fan base just tearing into Cena. And I'm sorry if you hear snoring. My dog is napping right beside me. She she is a snorer for sure. So I apologize if the mic is picking it up. I have this setting where it's supposed to like mute background noises, so I hope it works. But Cena calmly, stoically said, actually, because we should have known. We should have known. We should have known the promo earlier in the day because he pretty much, not even pretty much, he told it to us. He posted it on Twitter earlier today, or maybe it was yesterday. Now time difference is odd, not odd, confusing. He says, when someone is properly grounded in life, they shouldn't have to look outside themselves for approval. Just letting that sink in for you guys. One more time. When someone is properly grounded in life, they shouldn't have to look outside themselves for approval. It's very true. Very deep. Very deep. I feel like fortune cookie-esque. And if you are watching on YouTube, shout out to you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Look at this fucking great picture. One in the comments right underneath of it. I may have to use this as the thumbnail for this video because this is just fucking fantastic. Fuck them kids. And then this look is just prime. So shout out to Crispy Wrestling on Twitter because fucking fantastic. I love that. But that was how Cena started off the promo with that quote. When someone is properly grounded in life, they shouldn't have to look outside themselves for approval. And it was very fitting. Fans continued to chant and taunt at Cena, just fucking raucous crowd, bro. And this is when he was leaning back, I think at this point with his arm, either at this point, but this is one of the times he was kind of just like, "Oh, like, what's up? Like, I ain't got to do shit." He said, quote, "You're making this so easy for me," end quote. "You see, for 25 years, I've been the victim of an abusive relationship." And when he said that, I was like, "Ooh, getting heavy now. Okay." He says, "No, no, no, you have lost your time to talk." And at this point, he's yelling. I'm not going to yell because you guys haven't made me mad. He said, fans have abused him and have been hurtful, and all they've ever done is bully him into being their damn puppet and expected him to do it with a smile on his face. Fans started chanting, "Fuck you, Cena," which Netflix was late to bleeping, but eventually tried. Oh, just let it go, man. It's Netflix. Come on, it's fucking Netflix, bro. Clearly, I'd be banned. I don't even know how many times I said it at this point. I'm just terrible. Cena went on to say, quote, "I am not a babyface. I am not a heel. I am a human being. And each and every one of you have been awful to me." It was just him playing the victim was just so great, dude. Just so great. He said it's been the same noise for 25 years. He said fans let him know when he first arrived that they have hated him. He said he changed himself so fans would like him, and it worked for a second, but it wasn't enough. He said he worked hard and started to win and win and win. "I won a lot and you hated it." Enter Super Cena. Fucking just, cringe, man. If y'all weren't around, depending on your age, to experience Super Cena in its prime, oh my god, that was just next level. Just everyone and their mother, literally. I think even, oh my god, I want to say Luchasaurus, but what was Tyrus's Funkasaurus? Was it his mother? Someone's mother, I think, was even on TV at some point. I know Shelton Benjamin's mom was, but that wasn't Shelton Benjamin's. I think someone's mama was on there. Just fucking insane, dude. Like, I'm sure she would have lost to Super Saiyan if she had a match. He said, I won a lot and you hated it. Facts, bro. He said he spent the next 10 years of his life trying to give everything he could, but it still wasn't enough. Fans chanted again to shut the fuck up. No bleeping on that one, which is great. He said in his final moments he could have walked away. Fans started cheering him. He said the fans are terrible, going from telling him to shut the F up, which I wish he would have said fuck. Like, I know it's too much to go from, like kissing babies to saying, shut the fuck up the next, time we see. But man, like, it just would have been great. He says, again, just backtracking, he said fans are terrible, going from telling him to shut the F up to cheering when he said that he was going to walk away. He said fans ruined his retirement tour. Quote, I tried one last time to get along with you guys and you ruined it, just like you ruined everything, end quote. He said it's never enough for them. Fans started singing the Na 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 Goodbye song, which is just fantastic. I love that song is universal. Whoever made that song, like, just, you did great work. He held up the mic. He then told fans they should be ashamed of themselves for taking and only caring about themselves. Which, like, I get it, but I've heard even just a few interviews that I've heard from John Cena, multiple people asking him how he's doing. So that's not entirely accurate, my friend. He says fans just wanted to know what they were going to get from him. Quote, you get what you have earned, and what you have earned is nothing. He said, you don't get new clothes or new music. He said, their time is up and his time is now. Quote, the only thing you get is to take a long look in the mirror to see how awful each and every one of you have been for 25 years to me. End quote. And then aloud, we want Cody Chan rang out, which is getting to be the great timing. He said, you're training for Cody. Of course, your brand new shiny toy, which is great. I love that they're starting to acknowledge the comparisons, and I love that Cena's going to be on the opposite side of it now going forward. It's just going to be great. On the opposite side of it, but acknowledging that he was the coin, just it's just fascinating. He said they're about to put him out to the pasture. He said they're proving his point that they're awful people. He said it's every person in the room. He said he can identify the Let's Go Cena people in the crowd. He said they say they support him. He said the Cena sucks jagoffs have also proven themselves to be awful people. He said that Let's Go Cena people are just as awful. You claim to support me. What have you ever done to support me, huh? Bought a shit ton of your merch. Gone to see your movies. I don't know, man. And I know this is his character, right? I know. But, like, that's what I'm like, a couple, like, when he was saying, I was just like, I mean, they've done a lot for you, bro. Actually, like, those people have stuck with you through thick and thin. Like, when the I'm not gonna say, it obviously wasn't the majority, but the more vocal portion of the crowd were booing and just saying Cena sucks, like, going to the shows with I hate Cena, we hate Cena, custom made t-shirts and shit. Those people who loved Cena still had his back, man. So that's why I'm like, come on, man. Like, they had your back, bro. They were there for you. But I get what he's saying, because in some ways they weren't, though. Like, they want what they want from Cena. They want the version of John Cena that they want, and not who John Cena truly is, apparently. So that's what we seem to be learning here. Um, sorry, my little girl's falling asleep again. But he said the Let's Go Cena people are just as awful. You claim to support me. What have you ever done to support me, huh? He said all they ever do is steal from him, including his time and his personal moments. Quote, you have made me a freaking toy. I am not an object to you. Which is just great. And he said, or the fans started chanting, shut the fuck up again. He said, fans aren't comfortable. This episode is probably like the highest for the fucks. I'm sorry. He said fans aren't comfortable leaning into an awkward conversation. He said he lives hustle, loyalty, and respect every day. He said they think they can buy the words never give up, but he embodies it. You use me as an excuse for your pathetic failure of your life, because all you've ever done for 25 years is sit on your ass and watch me be great. No more. Just freaking great. He said everybody is in a toxic, dysfunctional relationship. He pointed at a kid in the crowd and said he means him. He said he's breaking up with all of them. Whether you like me or not, you're dumped. I don't care about you. You don't matter to me. He said they know he's right and they know they are wrong. And then that's when Cody came out. And bro, it was just fucking fantastic, man. Again, like, I don't even know if I would change anything about it. You know, I said what I said earlier about the clothes, but I love, like I said also, that he ended up addressing it. I love the fact that yes, is still like he's doing exactly what he said, right? He is not changing his attire and his music because that's what I would want. You know, me being the fan booing him right now, he's not going to cater to me. He's not going to feed into that. So try not to say the F word again. I'm trying to limit it, but screw off, man. Like, ugh, damn it, you know, and that's the point. That's the point. But even from the jump, man, like even when his music hit, he still had the little towel, but he was just kind of like holding it, you know, like to the side, just kind of like, and he just walked to the ring, like Wade says, stoically. Very, very fitting word. Just stoically walk to the ring. No smile, no nothing, no sense of urgency. Just fucking beautiful. And when Cody's music hit, dude, the reaction the fans had, my first thought with that was, yo, like Cody's a damn star, dude. He is that guy. And I said it in whatever stream, whether it's here over at One True Sport, where I'm live every Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. Cheap plug. But the fact that John Cena is even able to do this right now, and again, that it's, or not again, but again, because I've said it before, but not again if you didn't hear me prior. But also the fact that it's not against Roman Reigns, I think is super telling to the star power that Cody Rhodes has. And he wants to go around saying, you know, he's the quarterback and that's what he always wanted to be, blah, blah, blah. That's the truth, man. That's the truth. The fact that Cena was able to turn heel on Cody Rhodes and for it to be as powerful as it has been, and Cody's two things. John Cena's reaction, first of all, right? But Cody's reaction too, I think solidified John Cena's heel turn, right? But it solidified Cody's a made man, and it's just so cool. And I don't know why, like I feel proud of him, right? Because I don't know the dude, right? But I remember being at this Ring of Honor. It was the Ring of Honor show right before All In, and man, like I just remember hearing that dude. I don't remember. There's like 5-6 minutes that it was him, possibly the Young Bucks, and a few other people. Maybe I'll have to go back and see if I can find the video. But just hearing the passion, man, and just the dude makes you believe in him, and he really connects with you, and it's like, fuck, man, like yeah, I'm on the journey with you. And I remember I was a fan of his going, and I'm not gonna act like I was the biggest fan of his, right? But I always respected him. I always got a kick out of his characters, right? Especially like going back to the mustache Cody, and the paper bags and everything. I just thought that was so creative and just so fun and just so different. The fact that you know, like these fans paying good money for ringside seats are putting paper bags over their heads to go along with it. Oh, it was just great. Uh, and the fact that when he was the IC champion, he brought it back to the classic version with the white strap. Just little things like that. He stood out to me. You know what I mean? And just the list, right? Like everyone remembers the list with the beautiful handwriting, the well manicured nails, just the presentation. And I love the fact too that he's always been really this version of himself. Yeah, at one point he was a bad guy, right? And kind of went down like a little bit of a darker path. But since he left, he was always in a suit. No matter, I'll never forget. Sorry, my dog is snoring. I'm trying to wake her up a little bit so you guys can't hear it. But I'll never forget, like, thinking when I not came across, but when I would see those pictures posted on Twitter of them at Cracker Barrel all in the rocking chairs, you know, and everyone's, you know, not chilling, but in, you know, either like gym pants or like gym clothes, you know, like basketball shorts, tank top type shit. Dude's in a dude is in a suit. So the fact that he's always been that version going into AEW and then going back to WWE, it just really made it that much easier for you to latch on to him and be like, yeah, dude, like I'm rocking with you, man. Like, yeah, like you and I probably wouldn't agree on 100% of things, you know what I mean? But even then, like he's a really like he's not your stereotypical like blonde hair, not even that he's a natural blonde, but like blonde hair, blue eyes dude, you know what I mean? Like he's got some experience to him, you know what I mean? And you just get that vibe that he's not some like stuck up asshole, you know, like he's not what you would kind of judge him as. If you saw him walking down the street and you had no idea who he was, you would see some, especially if it was like, let's say like a Sunday morning, maybe not Sunday morning because you keep going to church, but like if it's like a Saturday morning at like 6:30, 7 a.m., you know, and you're, you know, like if you're me, like you look like a hot mess going to Starbucks trying to get your coffee, like, you know, hair in a messy ass bun, just looking real not great, you know what I mean? And then you're waiting for your coffee and you see this dude just sharply, hair slicked back, you know, button up suit, all that shit. And you're just like, fuck, man, it's Saturday morning. Just relax. Just relax. You know, it just kind of makes you like want to like duck down a bit. You know, which is why, you know, they say you should always be prepared. You never know who you're running into. But damn, sometimes I'm just tired. You know what I mean? But you just get that vibe. You just get like that's who he is, you know, like, and I'm sure, you know, he does maybe sleep in something that's not a suit. But I don't know, like I don't know what else besides the few times we've seen him on TV too, where he has like that tracksuit on. But it's just that's who he is, and that's what makes it so much easier to ride along this journey with him and be so invested in him because he doesn't feel fake and he doesn't feel forced. And that's I think the big difference between him and C. But yeah, man, so that's why I've always said like the type of character that Cody Rhodes is just so special. And that's why when they were teasing him selling his soul to the Rock, I was like, God, like 100% he should sell his soul, quote unquote, one day, you know, jump into the dark side, but not anytime soon. Like really run this wave and just ride this storm with this version of Cody Rhodes as long as you can. Will it last as long as Cena? I don't know. You know, maybe it will. Maybe he'll end up being the next John Cena. And but to the fact or to the point that people don't get tired of him and he doesn't feel forced and he doesn't we don't always go into a match like, oh, you know, here comes Super Cody. You know what I mean? Like, if we get to that point, then yeah, like, we'll, you know, judging and, you know, talk about it then. But right now, it just isn't that time. And I just think it's just so dope. What I was gonna say what they've done with Cody, but it isn't even what they've done with Cody as much as what Cody did for himself and created himself and like you know like kind of like the vibe that his interest theme goes towards that he created his kingdom, you know what I mean, and almost forced W not even almost he forced WWE to take him as he was, and I just think that's so dope, man. Like that's why yeah, Punk is my guy, but it's like 1A 1B type day with him and Cody, just because it feels good to be able to kind of follow along someone's journey and be invested in them and to know they're I mean everyone has skeletons, right? But to know for the most part they're not really a piece of shit. You know what I mean? And their story's cool and yes, like he could have taken the easy route, but he bet on himself. Like I just said, you know, we all know the story at this point. He finished it. So I'm not gonna rehash it, but yeah, man, it's just seeing just witnessing the reactions between John Cena and knowing like the symbolism behind it and what this really means and the impact that it has had already and is most likely going to continue to carry and seeing Cody come out and just the roar and just the love and the chanting for Cody prior to him even being out there, like it was set up perfectly. Like I don't think if you're Triple H back there, if you're you know like the brass back there, like it could have gone any better for you. So man, like it's just I loved it. I fucking loved everything about it. Sorry guys about all the F bombs. I don't know what's into me today, but yeah, I don't know. But continuing on, Cody slapped hands and smiled on his way to the ring. He entered the ring 24 minutes into the hour, which is just wild. Fans loudly sang Cody's name, and Cody stared down Cena. Then a Cody chant rang out as he was able to speak, or I'm sorry, about to speak. He says, quote, I think everyone was willing to hear you out, even myself, end quote. And it was very somber, and I loved it. I loved Cody's visuals coming out too. Like he wasn't just all smiles. Like yeah, he acknowledged the fans there, but it wasn't as extra as he normally is. So I love that too. And I love they were like singing his name like Cody. I don't know, I'm not gonna sing it. Go back and listen to it. uh, and I like that first sentence too, with him saying, "I think everyone was willing to hear you out, even myself." And I get why maybe some people would have been like, "Yo, he should have just tackled him. Just should have gone in there and just started swinging," with how disrespectful Cena was, and how he embarrassed you, right? If you're Cody Rhodes at the Elimination Chamber. But that's not Cody's character. I mean, Christ, like The Rock said disparaging things about Mama Rhodes and did crazy shit last year, and they became great friends after that. And I'm not gonna get into that, but Cody is just not that guy. Like he's not a pushover, but he is that character. Look at him and Roman Reigns, for instance, right? Like he went through shit in hell with Roman, the bloodline, and all that. But when Roman needed someone, Cody was that guy. Cody stood up for Roman. So, especially for a hero figure and a role model figure to Cody Rhodes and someone that he's looked up to, of course he's gonna want to hear him out. So to me, that wasn't that surprising at all, really. Now if we go on between now and WrestleMania and nothing ever happens, physicality wise, then I may be a little bit more surprised, depending on how each week progresses, because we will be seeing these two men in the same ring next week as well on Monday Night Raw, which will be airing at 4 p.m. I hope Wayne has it here in his report where it's airing from, but it is obviously still an international crowd, so that'd be dope. But yeah, so to me, I didn't even like that wasn't really shocking to me at all, or like that. I didn't really think about that, watching it live. To be honest with you, like I fully expected Cody to let John Cena say what he wants to say, because that was the whole point, right? Like Cody wants to know why. He gave him his time to talk, and now maybe he didn't get the answer that he wanted to hear. So Cody came out to acknowledge that. So to me, it kind of made sense, but I get too why people would be like, "Yo, he should have just gone in there and tackled homeboy," because I totally get that too. But my opinion, that's just not the type of character that this version of Cody Rhodes is. Uh, where was I? He said, from what he understands, he thinks the fans have given him his worst, but they have also given him his best. They did that because you were special, because you could take it, because you could carry it. He said, Cena said, "Listen, kid," and Cody interrupted and said, "Enough." And he yelled at him. He said, "And it's certainly not kid, it's WWE champion." Which, fuck yeah, dude. Sorry. Own that shit though. You're the quarterback, man. He looked at Cena and said, "Who the hell are you?" He said he was excited about going face to face for weeks with John Cena, and instead I get this. He said this better not show up at WrestleMania, because if it does, I'll run it over and I'll run it out, because I already took its best shot and it wasn't enough. So pretty much saying this version of John Cena is trash. And he called him a whiny bitch. He said he wants to wrestle John Cena at WrestleMania, not this whiny bitch. And he threw the mic towards John Cena and left the ring. And the fans were in full support of him. And then that was the end of the segment. John Cena stood there in the middle of the ring and just kind of soaked in the reaction for maybe another not even minute, and then ended up leaving. And guys, I was just so impressed by the presentation. Again, yes, I've already said the aesthetics, but I'm not even gonna harp on that. If we never get John Cena out of jorts, if he's always wearing them fucking terrible t-shirts with the door on the back, okay, it's fine. It's a hill I'm not going to even want to start walking up if we get this version of Cena going into WrestleMania. And I hope continuing after that too. Again, like I said somewhere, I hope it's not one of those when I was, representing like him being not half-assing this, of course, but just kind of bullshitting or like fake turning or like half turning, you know what I mean, and not fully embracing it. Um, I don't want it to be one of those things where he battles Cody Rhodes and Cody beats him at WrestleMania, but he gains Cody's respect and then they shake hands and then the next Monday on Raw, John Cena comes out and he's apologizing to us, and everything is kumbaya and everything is great going into SummerSlam. And I just don't want that, like you pulled the trigger now, because it's my thing is like you should run this all the way into SummerSlam if you can, if not longer, because he's done in the end of December. So even if you don't turn him back, if he ends his career as a bad guy, like imagine if this version of Cena ends up winning the championship, if he doesn't beat Cody at WrestleMania, but he ends up beating Cody at SummerSlam, for instance, just spitballing or whatever. If there's another big show in between, like I don't see them wanting to do that at like a Saudi Arabia show or a Money in the Bank show. Like I would imagine if you're not going to do it at WrestleMania, you would do it at a SummerSlam. But even then, man, I think if you're going to pull the trigger on 17, like they're going to want to do it at Mania. But if not, if Cody retains, then I could see Cena winning possibly at SummerSlam and then potentially going throughout the rest of the year as the champion. Just imagine, like, this version of Cena, what's best for business, him being the champion and retiring on top as the one and done, like not longest reigning, but the champion, right? Like the GOAT, as Michael Cole would say, like the most winningest champion, right? Like not really when because it's Ric Flair had more championship reigns, but WWE acknowledges the 16, so we go with 16. But that would be kind of shitty, you know what I mean? As as the character of John Cena, right? To end up retiring with the championship, and then what do we, what happens after that on starting January 1st? So just kind of spitballing, like I said. But the point of that was if you were to even go down that route, if people were hating John Cena as much as they were in Brussels, right? On December 31st, he retires with the championship, everything I just said. The second he comes back, he's going to be massively cheered. You know what I mean? And it can't be something where he comes back and like nothing ever happened, but he can excuse it, right? Or he can justify it, and he'll come up with something, and he'll apologize, and he'll say something, and whatever, everything will be great going forward into his Hall of Fame ceremony. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be worried about that, but man, like, just bravo, and thank you, Cena, man, because I just that segment, what was it, 30 minutes ended up being or whatever, and just the fact that he was willing to pull the trigger and is willing to pull the trigger and not just coast for this last year, just shows what kind of dude he is. So I appreciate that, and I'm just so, like I said earlier, I'm just so happy we're here and along for the ride. But that was not the entirety of the show. There were other things to get to. I won't get into like each match specifically. I'll just kind of hit the high points at this point, so it's not too much longer, because obviously even when I'm talking to myself, I end up going pretty long here. But we did end up getting Ludwig Kaiser facing off against Penta, which Penta was just a fucking star, man. Like his entrance is just so dope. And I'd like too that it looks like he's going to be staying on Raw and doing his own thing. Whereas potentially, if the vignettes are to be true, right, we're gonna end up getting Phoenix on SmackDown, Ray Phoenix, that is. So I think that's really cool, and I think that if we're not going to rush them into a tag team, I think that's really admirable, really. But even if we end up doing, or even if we end up seeing them as a tag team, then that's logical, right? And like that's what we were all expecting. But if not, then I think that's pretty cool. And I like also what adds more fuel to that fire is Penta declaring that he wants to go for the IC championship. I think we will end up getting a multi-man match at WrestleMania. I just feel a ladder match for the IC championship. So I think it's going to have an influx of course, Braun Breaker, possibly Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, Penta. Who else do we have? I know I'm forgetting other obvious people. But yeah, like those are to start. But and just imagine Penta at WrestleMania in a ladder match, bro. Sign me up. I'm already signed up, but still. And I loved the promo that well, not even the promo, but yeah, it was a promo. The little after the match interview that he had with Kathy Kelly, just pretty much saying he loves the fans, like thank you, and just declaring what he wanted to do next. So I thought that was really dope. And then later on in the night, Braun Breaker was walking backstage and Penta was standing backstage. And I just, little things like that are pretty cool. And speaking of backstage, this, what was it called again? The Forest National, I think it was. Yeah, Forest National Arena. Shout out to you guys. The coolest and the best backstage decor I have ever seen. The graffiti art everywhere, just fucking dope, man. Like I loved watching the backstage segments just because I wanted to see how like just I wanted to see more portions of the art. So shit, I'd buy VIP tickets just to go backstage and look at the art. I'd like look at the graffiti on the wall there. That's just it was so dope. So I don't know like if it was like a certain like sometimes I'll see like companies will have like a mural or something and they'll have like just different artists come in for different foundations and fundraisers and stuff like that. So I don't know if it was something like that or they converted an old building or what the hell they did, but it was dope and I wish us here in the good old USA were more creative and did cool stuff like that and just like be professional and stuff. But man, like I don't know. It was just really dope. Even Richmond, Virginia. Side note, they ended up, or they have within the past 4 years, 5 years, 6 years at this point, allowed more graffiti. I mean, they don't encourage it, but a lot of the graffiti that was outside of the businesses, they've allowed like the artists to go and just create murals of just different things and different causes and. Like George Floyd, there's a huge George Floyd mural. I remember just like it was just so just so perfectly done. Like it's just it is massive. I forget the building that it was on, but just that and like when Kobe died, they had done a mural downtown for that as well. I think that building, I don't know what ended up happening to that building, but yeah, just so many cool things, and then just random nothings, like just random designs and shit. So I'm a huge fan of stuff like that. So shout out to them for that. But what was also notable was the announcement that Stone Cold Steve Austin will be appearing at WWE World Fan Fest in Las Vegas. So again, like if that wasn't if you needed confirmation prior that Austin is going to show up at WrestleMania and most likely help our guy Cody Rhodes, there it is. There it is. And then next up was the match, of course, for Ludwig and Penta, which Penta did in fact win. Shout out to Penta. He's undefeated so far. Next up, we had Dakota Kai and Ivy Now, which was a pretty good match. I really enjoyed that. Or not enjoyed, but I liked that they had this match on TV. They gave it time, and Dakota Kai got an entrance, so it was a win-win-win. Certain people didn't like Bianca Belair later on didn't get an entrance, which was I guess time constraints or just time like wanting to I don't always want to say time constraints, but just being mindful of the time. um and I'm sure the opening segment probably went a little long and just the fan reaction. So I don't know the exact rules obviously that they have with Netflix. Clearly they have more flexibility, but I don't know what the exact parameters are. But next up we did, I believe, have the women's segment for the contract signing. Yeah, and Bianca Belair's music was fading, and we had I think Io Sky out there, yeah, as well. Yep, both sitting at the table, which is just kind of, or did she? Hold on. No, 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 no. Io had made her entrance. That's right. Yeah, because I was like, no, I remember hearing her music. So Io made her entrance, and then that's when we got a couple more drone shots, and then they proceeded on. I think it was a commercial break, and then we came back, and Belair was already in the ring, sitting down, and she was wearing all black, and I was like, oh shit. It's so sad that that's a indicator for us, but she, man, just the way she was speaking, the sassiness that she had, I was like, yo, I already like I love this little tease of just an edgier Bianca and just a Bianca with an attitude. Like I just, bro, if y'all haven't seen her NXT days, like that was like a tease of what we can get just amplified, and especially since she has more experience, she's more comfortable. Like we know her character, she's established, she's a star, bro. Like I'm not gonna get on the bandwagon again about her and Montez because I have said that so many times now, and recently especially. But bro, like she's a star, dude. And the fact that she, out of the three women, her, Io, and Rhea Ripley, who came out and ended up interrupting the segment, which we'll get to, Bianca didn't get as many cheers and she got a little boost. So I was like, okay, like I hope that they use, if this is what continues, which it most likely will end up being a three-way at WrestleMania between the three of the ladies. And if the build continues to where Bianca is on the bad guy side, then bro, I hope they just go full fledged. Like I hope not full fledged at WrestleMania, but maybe the Raw after Mania. If for instance, like if Rhea retains or regains the championship, she comes out to celebrate, Bianca comes out to congratulate her, and then just clocks her, and then just turns, and we go from there. I just think that'd be dope. And a great crowd too, right? That's one of the best crowds of the year that you'll have. So I'm not I'm not holding my breath on it, but man, I just think you're and if you think about it too, the Street Profits are right there too, man. Like I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, like we're so close. But Rhea Ripley came out. Um, it was just kind of funny to be honest with you. Like Rhea came out and she took the yeah, I'm gonna pull it up. She took the contract. And Ripley, before she did, Ripley asked Bianca how she can just stand there like nothing happened. Belair said she was signing her contract for WrestleMania. Ripley said she had no business being out there in her championship match, so she's taking a page out of her book and just watching. Belair snidely, I like that word, snidely said if she wants to be in her business, she'll make her business. Sky walked up, Sky. Belair pie faced her away, which another indicator. Ripley headbutted Belair, which she just does those headbutts so well, dude. When she connects, they look fucking brutal. Another F bomb. I should start a jar. God, don't do a drinking game. Ripley did that. Oh, I'm sorry. Headbutted Belair onto the announce table. Ripley then powerbombed Sky onto Belair, who was laying on on the table itself, but the table did not break, which I feel like that's even worse when the table does not break. That's when she grabbed the WrestleMania contract and signed her name right in the middle, which I thought was it just cracked me up. She said, "Fuck it, whatever. And if I get striked or whatever, like I deserve it." But my girl said, "F it, man. Like I am going to be in WrestleMania one way or another. I'm going to steal this contract." She pulled a Christian Cage. I mean, he didn't steal the contract, but she was like, "I'm going to take this contract. I am signing my name, and it's official because it's a legal document." You know, not my fault you didn't add that third line. I'm just saying. This is great. And then they continued it backstage. She ended up giving Pierce the contract back. Belair confronted her. They started fighting backstage. um, but it was great. Like I don't know. It was a funny side of Rhea. Like it was just like a different fun side. I don't know. Just kind of seeing her like kind of toy with everyone a little bit and kind of have a little bit of fun. It was just fun for me. But then Jay ended up they showed him backstage, which I was surprised they didn't milk his entrance. They had him backstage, brought him out for his match, and he came from the back just straight to the ring, didn't come through the fans and yeet it in the ring. It's just a weird thing to say. But it was just kind of strange. Like, I mean, he did get ample time, but I would have thought of all the places that you have him come through the fans like you do in crowds like this, but they didn't, but whatever. He had I think it was like 30-second match with Austin Theory. I think, hit him with a crossbody. Yeah. Jay finished Theory with a crossbody block seconds into the match for the win. So that was it. Grayson Waller was outside of the ring as well. He had accompanied Austin Theory to the ring. I didn't even see this, but apparently Jay went to hit like a suicide dive to the outside of the ring and just did not connect. I have to go back and watch it. And apparently, like he fell over the top rope. So I hope he's okay. Apparently, he's okay. I don't even remember why. Like I don't remember that part at all. The last thing I remember is just him and Gunther getting into it, and Gunther, trying to put him into a sleeper hold. So I don't know. I don't know what happened with my memory there. Gunther jumped up from behind though and hit him with the sleeper. Jay powered out and punched Gunther as fans yelled yeet with each swing. Jay, it's just so weird. Jay yanked the belt away from Gunther and then ducked as Gunther charged at him. "He's got your title, champ," yelled Cole. Just kind of taunting. And then yeah, I think we're gonna get Gunther just beating the fuck. Here we go. Out of Jimmy sometime soon. If not, mess with Rikishi, man. Go, like, I don't know, like, have Rikishi backstage one night and just do something. Maybe closer to like the week of WrestleMania, since everyone will be in town, especially for like the Hall of Fame ceremony or whatever. Just that'd be dope. I don't know how Rikishi is health wise, so obviously, you know, that's most important, but that'd be great, dude. That would be great. We got a tag team match with Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Julius and Brutus Creed. That was a fun match too. Not really going to get into that one too much because of time purposes. We had Seth Rollins come out, and there was a Twitter post the other day, which I never noticed, but it was just so fucking fast, just so fascinating that every time Seth comes out with a particular attire, right? If it's like purple, pink, green, whatever, his Titantron, the background and the font of his logo, the logo of his name match that, and it was so cool. So check it out. If I would have been more prepared, I would have had a side by side, but it's going a little bit longer than I anticipated. But I just thought that was really cool. Go back and check it out, because if you notice, his Titantron was, and when it came up, I was like, oh, okay, so the Titantron was green. I always call it Titantron. It was green and black. And I was like, all right, I wonder if dude's wearing green and black. Sure as shit, green and black. Um, But yeah, there's a segment backstage with AJ Styles and Karrion Kross pretty much setting up the match between Styles and Logan Paul at Mania, which I think is going to be great. And then our main event was Braun Breaker facing off against Finn Balor. Pretty much this match, it was 12 minutes, was pretty much just a vehicle for Dominic Mysterio and Judgment Day to have more dissension between themselves towards the end of the match. It was a fine match, but nothing crazy. And it was a way to get Penta coming out there at the end to save the day and confront Braun Breaker again in the ring and hand him his IC championship, which I thought was pretty cool. But towards the mid to the end portion of the match, Finn was on the top turnbuckle and Dominic went up there to, I think, distract Breaker and ended up shaking the top rope, which knocked Finn's balance off. He fell, hit his little area. I didn't mean little. I don't know, whatever. Hit his area down there and costing him the match, essentially, because Braun Breaker was able to hit the just kind of threw myself off there a little bit. But yeah, so Dom had yanked Breaker off the rope. That caused Balor to lose his balance and fall in his area. Not saying it's little. He crushed, as we put it, the top turnbuckle. Balor yelled at Dominic, and again, I love Dom. Breaker knocked Carlito off the ring apron, then gave Balor the Frankensteiner and a spear for the win. And then that set up the melee afterwards, which I mentioned Penta came out to save the day on. But I don't know if we're gonna end up getting Finn versus Dominic at WrestleMania specifically 101, or if they're gonna be injected into the potential multi-man IC title match at Mania, especially if it's like a ladder match. I'm just creating shit myself over here. But if not, then I would hope that they would at least get a singles match with how long we've been going back and forth with this, and then truly be done with Judgment Day. I think it's interesting that Dominic had mentioned earlier that, maybe we should bring Penta and have him be the new member of the Judgment Day. And then, of course, Finn was saying, why would you do that? He was just saying he wants to come from my IC championship. This was prior to the main event that he lost. So yeah, it's very interesting, and I wonder if we are going to get in a new member of the Judgment Day, or what they're going to end up doing. They're talking about it for a reason, right? So we'll see. But guys, thank you so much if you made it this far for listening and making it this far. I appreciate it. I didn't plan to go a fucking hour by myself, but here we are. That opening segment how can you not just talk about it, right? I do ramble a lot though, so sorry about that, guys. But no, for real though, I appreciate you guys. Again, the success of the little channel here is super dope. I appreciate you guys. We just cracked 600 too, which is really cool. And yeah, so I just appreciate that. It's fun to watch the channel grow, and it's fun to see and meet new people and have more people come into the little community and interact in the chats and stuff like that when we're live. So I appreciate everyone. I should say, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe if you'd like. And hit the like button if you would like as well, or dislike if you'd like, whatever you prefer. And then let me know your thoughts on John Cena's first heel promo, man. In what, 20 years or some shit? Crazy. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Or listening if you downloaded the audio. I appreciate that as well. Until next time, guys, stay safe out there and enjoy some wrestling.